Okay, Woo, this is actually the first time you've been voted out of Survivor. How does it feel?
Uh, it's the very first time I've been voted off. You're correct. It's devastating. It's not the way you want to leave Survivor being blindsided. That's my case. I'm coping with it. I'm feeling pretty heartbroken this morning, but I'm pressing on.
Yeah. Well, how blindsided were you, like on a scale of 1 to 10?
I was definitely a 10. If that was most blindsided, I was
Mm-hmm.
number 10. I had no idea that it was coming my way, and I was blindsided to the fullest degree.
Wow. And it seems as though Sierra didn't feel comfortable with you being so close to Andrew, and that's why things went against you. Is that the way you understood it too, the way why you were voted out?
Yeah, I kind of looked at it that way. Sierra was obviously not going to vote out Savage. Spencer was someone that she could have on her side for my vote off. If that plus a culmination of other things, I'm sure Cass was also thinking, that if I, being so close to Savage, that if we made the merge that, I could eventually join with Savage's original alliance in the Bayon tribe, and that, she didn't find herself really close with Savage, so she figured maybe start taking out me as Savage's alliance member, bring on Spencer on her side, so when the merge does come around that they'll have the upper hand.
And one of the people that voted against you was Abi-Maria. Are you kind of surprised that she voted against you? Because, I think it was 2 weeks ago when you guys kind of made the, not really an alliance, but you kind of agreed to all stick together.
Right. Yeah, no, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, I wrote her name down twice. And after the first time I wrote her name down, I promised loyalty that I wouldn't. But then I, obviously, voted against her. She was presented by Sierra, Cass, and Spencer. Hey, we're going to blindside Woo, and they had the numbers. So, I mean, in the game of Survivor, you'd be an idiot not to go with the numbers. So I feel like, yes, she did what was best for her.
And what was it like being at camp with Abby 24/7? Because you actually ended up being on all three of the tribe switches. You guys ended up being together.
Yeah, you know what? I have nothing against Abby. I think she's a wonderful person. Watching her on shows, she's pretty entertaining. But yeah, it's funny. They don't air this, but in the first day on our Takeo camp, she actually came out and said, "Hey, I have a big crush on you. I think you're cute and hot." And I was like, "Wow, that really works in my favor." She. That's why I feel like she was a lot more lenient towards me, not really holding a big grudge on me like she did like with Shireen and PG, because she maybe had like a small crush on me, but it helped for a little while.
That's hilarious. At Tribal Council, Jeff Probst kind of brought up the fact that the last time you played, you gave $1 million to Tony. Is that something that weighs on your mind a lot?
Yeah, you kind of run yourself through the whole experience, and I don't take back taking Tony. I thought it was the right decision. Going into Kagayan's final tribal council, all those tribals leading up to that day, whenever Tony would talk, I just glimpsed over at the jury, and you could all see it in their look. They despised Tony. They really had some beef and animosity towards the guy. They really didn't see Cass as someone that deserved to be there. So I didn't know if taking Cass would get me voted out because in spite, or take someone like Tony who, they kind of respect being there, but at the same time, he also put a lot of those guys on the jury for, you know, taking advantage of their trust. I felt like, man, I got a really good shot at taking Tony because no one likes him. But again, you know, I said this before. Once I left that finale Cagayan and I lost, I was like, you know, this game is not one off of popularity votes. That, you know, even though you get your trust taken advantage of, if you're playing a tough, hard, aggressive game, that's what they're going to respect, and that was definitely the case for Tony.
Mm. And speaking of Cagayan, there were 4 of you guys on this season, the second chance season. You and Spencer and Tasha and Cass. Did you at all talk before the game started about maybe sticking together and creating a secret Cagayan alliance?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to do that, and I've been asked this before if I did any pre-alliance before the game, and you know that's definitely on your mind. But at the same time, you don't want to jeopardize your chances of getting back on the show because you didn't comply by certain rules that Survivor CBS had, which is no communicating with one another. So it was tough because, yeah, you want to send a text, but then you don't want your text to, you know, accidentally be linked. And, you know, so I was doing everything I could to get on, not get myself not voted on. So,
right.
No, I did. But, you know, looking back on it, that definitely would not have hurt at all.
And what are some of the big changes you made between the first time you played? I mean, it was just like a year ago and this time.
You know, changes, I felt like I was pretty consistent. Obviously, this time around, getting a second chance, I wanted to play a more aggressive game to really stick out to the jury members that I'm here to play, and I'm here to play aggressively, and if that means I need to be more cutthroat and vicious and start backstabbing people, I just wanted to set a good impression on the jury members if I made it far enough. Say, hey, look, I'm really coming out here going against everything I believe in to win this game, but I didn't get a chance to do that.
You did get a chance to eat some pig brains, though. What did those taste like? Are you able to describe that?
Yeah, pig brains. I wouldn't recommend to anyone who's hungry or who's gonna go on a possible date with a girl, because that pig brain was lingering on my tongue and my breath for the whole entire day. It was god awful. It tasted, felt, texture, everything about it was wrong. But at the end of the day, when Jeff says, hey, listen, this right here, my friends, is all delicacies from the Cambodian locals who enjoy eating it, the first thing that came to my head is like, okay, first of all, that's food substance. Second of all, that's protein. And if I can get any more energy to fuel me for the next week or so, I'm all about it. So no hesitation, manned up, got 2 points for my team. I want to mention that Kiera and Cass were the reasons why we went to tribal, and I got blindsided, which is
that's true.
Beyond me.
Wow.
Like, I did everything I could to avoid tribal. You two couldn't muster up enough, like, iron stomach to, like, take down your food, and now we got to go to tribal, and now you're going to vote me out? Like, I don't get it.
Gosh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. And I just talked to Terry a few minutes ago. His son seems to be doing okay. And what was going through your head when you found out that he had to leave the game because of a family emergency?
Gosh, that's the most devastating news. And when Jeff announced that, like, I was in complete shock. The first day I met Terry, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, I love my daughter Kayla, and I love my son Danny. My son Danny is going to turn 16, is about to get his driver's license. He's playing varsity lacrosse, varsity football. He's getting looked at by a couple of schools for football, and just a real prideful, passionate dad. and to hear that he had to leave because of a family emergency was tough. It was like how crazy and how unpredictable the world is. Day by day, anything can happen. One day he's on the highest of highs playing Survivor Second Chance all the way on Cambodia, and then he gets a call that his son's in the hospital. And I was just like, I was tearing up last night, just picturing him on a 16-hour flight back home, unsure of his son's condition, knowing that his son's in the hospital in intensive care. It's got to be, it's got to be very tough.
Yeah, we're all thinking about them, and our fingers are crossed that everything works out for the best.
Yeah, you know, hashtag Danny Strong. I spoke to, I've been speaking to Terry ever since we got back. I called him and checked up on his son. His son is doing very well, by the way. Just received a successful heart transplant. His son suffered a cardiac arrest. Very young age, very, very sad, but on a brighter note, successful heart transplant, going through physical therapy, keeping up with his homework that he's missed, and he's on his way to being 110%.
Nice. Well, it was great watching you on TV again. I wish you could have made it a little further. I'm sure you wish the same, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, thanks for your support, and to all your listeners and viewers, thank you very much for tuning in and taking the time to vote me back on, because without you, I wouldn't have a second chance at this game. So I definitely want to take this time to thank you guys for all your time. I hope you guys stay well. It won't be the last of me. You guys can follow me on my Instagram at Hwang112 and my Twitter at YoungWoo23. And yeah, until next time.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll have a good day.
Hey, thanks. You too.
Okay.